Welcome to this not tutorial. This is just sort of a, I don't know, rant, also a tutorial. I don't know. Whatever this video is, it won't have a tutorial on it. We've had a lot of comments and questions about how to read the contents of a Resonite package file. Before I show you how to do this, I must add the caveat that this isn't an intended feature of the product, or this feature Resonite packages. It's not intended that you can do this for offline editing, and it is not intended to be sort of read by a human. And so any difficulty or frustration or angst that you might have in doing this or following this process is kind of because you're using the feature in a way that it's not meant to be used. Having said that, no one's going to stop you from doing this, and I'm aware that certain people in the community are already making tools that are enabling this to happen, but it isn't the intention that the Resonite team has with this feature. So if you want offline editing or uni integration or stuff like that, make sure you visit our GitHub and you upvote issues which are actually to do with that, and those will be a lot more user-friendly and easy to do. As you're about to see, we're about to smash together bash scripts, a random C file, and a lot of other CLI scripts just to get out something which is completely useless to me. But we'll go ahead and get it sorted. So we're going to be using Yosh's Bussin to Jussin script, so big thanks to Yosh there. I didn't realize that they had so much stuff, mostly because they don't use GitHub, they use git.unix.doc. So I've had a look through, they've got some cool stuff, so take a look at that. Links will be in the video description, but not step by step, because again, I don't recommend following this, even though it works. The first thing we're going to need is to make sure that we have Brotli. Brotli is the thing that will decompress the files within the Resonite package, so we can do apt-get install Brotli for that. We'll need sudo on the front. I'm not a proficient Linux user. I am I will hit it with a hammer until stuff gets done. I've been that way for many years. So any Linux foo that you're going to complain about to me, understood. I completely agree. We're also going to need GCC if you don't have it. And we're going to need make. So I'm just going to do GCC and make in one. Both of those were already installed in a previous take of this video where I forgot those items. Then we're going to go ahead and need this script. So I'm going to go ahead and click the copy here, and I'm going to do git clone paste cd bussin to jussin. This is Yosh's stuff, so we just need to do make install. Sudo make install. Yeah. All right. So now we should be able to do bussin to jussin because it should be in path. It is indeed in path. Fantastic. That's what we need. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get a Resonite package onto the Linux box here. I am really unfamiliar with the best way to get Windows files over to Linux, so I'm just going to go ahead and do it the way that I'm going to do it. So let's go ahead and take this box that we've got here, and I'm going to go ahead and upload it with ShareX. That gets it over to here, or we could just wget it down. There's a much better way to do this. I just don't care right now. All right, so we've got the package. I'm going to move the package from this URL, which my web server generates, to just be box.resonitepackage again. If you've got any tools for sending files between computers on the same network, let me know. And yeah, I know I could set up like a Samba share or something, and I need fast. Anyway, so we've got that done, so we don't need Windows Explorer anymore. Next, we need to go ahead and take a look at the Resonite package. You'll see it's just a Resonite package, but turns out it's a zip archive, so we can just go ahead and unzip it. That, of course, unzipped it to the same directory that we're in, which I always forget, so I'm going to go ahead and just clean up a little bit here. r-main.record. Okay, that should get us back to there. Yes, I need to do unzip and then just do box. Box. Cool. Unzip -h. Is it D? Yes, D. Extraction directory. Okay, cool. So dbox. There we go. So what's that's done is that's unzipped the Resonite package box into this directory called box. Now, inside this directory, you'll see that we have 3 distinct areas. I'm going to talk about each 3 of them. We have assets, which contains assets, metadata, which contains metadata, and r-main.record, which contains the main record. So let's take a look at the main record. So I'm just going to use Nano. If you guys are complaining about me because I'm not using Vim, just go die. And you'll see it is JSON. So let's go ahead and take a look at that with JQ. So what we're going to do is do cat r main record pipe JQ. JQ? There we go. That just formats it nicely on the screen for me, so we can scroll up and take a look at it. Yep, so it's JSON. And you'll see JSON here that tells you a lot of stuff about the box. We can see, hey, I made it. That's me, Probable Prime. We can see the dates and stuff that I made it. We can also see what type it is. It's an object, its name. But we can also see what's called an asset manifest. And there's a surprising amount of assets in a... Dog's just asked to go out. We'll ignore that for the rest of this video. But do know the moment this video is finished recording, I'll take them out. I don't know if you heard that, but they've got a button they push. Anyway, I'm going to keep rambling on here. Like I said, this is not a tutorial. So you'll see that there is this part here called asset URI, which has what's called a PackDB link into it. Don't go Googling PackDB or anything. I'll just tell you how to do it. What we need to do is look for this file here. So this is AE61331. Excellent. So now what we're going to do is going to go into the assets folder. And we're going to list all the assets in the asset folder. You can see that let's do AO. And you can see that they've all got those names here. But one of them is going to be the same hash as this one. So AE6 is what we're looking for. AE6, where are we? AE6, there it is. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to copy AE6 and I'm going to do that. And I'm just going to call it main. So I don't have to refer to AE6. I'm also going to move that to one level up in my directory, and then we can get out of there because that's very scary. So now what we've got is the main record thing. But if we take a look at that, we can just do cat main for this. You'll see it's just like, it's a load of junk. It's a load of junk, right? So how do we read that load of junk? Well, what we do actually is we go over here to Yosh's Resonite photo exif script, and we go all the way down to where are we? There's a bunch of pipes. I can't see it now. Here it is. This is what we need to do, but we need to alter it so it does it to the main file rather than this asset URL, and of course we don't need to curl it. So I'm going to move it over to the left here and lose it again in my brain. Here it is. All right, so what we do is we do cat main, pipe that into tail minus C plus 10, pipe that into Brotli, decrypting it, not decrypting it, sorry, decompressing it, then pipe that into Yosh's script, and then we save that into main.json. And then we can go ahead and do JQ main.json. Actually, we need to cat pipe. Ooh, no, that didn't work out. Let's take a look. That's in there and it's fine, but JQ doesn't seem to like it. Oh, it's because I did it completely wrong. I need to do cat main.json, pipe JQ, and there we go. And now this, if you're not familiar with this, you're lucky. This here is what everything you create on Resonite looks like. Absolutely everything. Everything on the planet of Resonite looks like this. And it is a nightmare. But once again, it's a nightmare because you're not meant to read it like a human. This is all very well machine-readable code that can do a variety of things. Remember, this is just a box with some protoflux on it. Let's see if we can go up to the top here. Here's me mucking around and getting confused. We can start seeing stuff at the top here. So, for example, here in version number, we've got the version that produced this asset. This is really good for things like backwards compatibility and stuff like that. You can also see feature flags and type versions. These all basically tell Resonite, hey, we're using Box Collider version 1, Grabbable version 2, UIX Canvas version 2. You know, it informs our Resonite application how best to sort of handle this object, right? For example, one of the facets or parts of the dash is up to like version 18 now. And that's simply because of the functionality we had there. We've changed that now with some of the stuff you're seeing with the content team and data feeds, but like it's still up there. Anyway, so you'll see that this is an object. I believe this is the first slot. So this is the root slot of the object. And yeah, that would be correct based on what I'm reading here. And then you'll see that we've got a list of components here. So inside the components, we'll see that we've got standard stuff for a box. So here's a FruxEngine.box mesh with some data. You'll see update order enabled, higher priority integration, and all the things like that. you'll see that every time there's data, it varies on what the data type of an object is. So if you take a look at enabled, you'll see that data is true because it's just a Boolean. But if you look at override bounding box, data min and max, it's like a float 3 by the looks of things. It's like 2 float 3s, one for min, one for max. If you look at profile, that appears to be something to do with color. On the box mesh size, you should recognize that's the size of the box. So you can see it's a float 3, it's 1 by 1 by 1. UV scale again, 1 by 1 by 1. That's all of the box mesh. So that was the box meshes component, and we can move on to the mesh renderer component. You'll see here that again we've got the ID, the mesh, and this is interesting. You see here where it says mesh, it's referring to 0 0 blah 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 0, right? So we should be able to find somewhere within this file, we should be able to find that, and that would take us to the mesh. So let's go ahead and take a look. So it starts with 002 and the rest is all zeros. So we go up to the box mesh here. You'll see, oh, look, there's its ID. So in the context of this now extracted JSON file, this mesh renderer is saying, when I'm rendering a mesh, I use this reference to refer to the box mesh that exists on the box. Let's keep going so I can find something that isn't a reference that would be in this file. Here's the box collider, very similar to the box mesh. So we're going to keep going. Here's a value copy. Here you can see some of the weird backtick stuff that you guys used to have to type within the type adder before Fruix added that easy thing. I suppose we could maximize this and zoom in a little bit. I'm going to do that now. Once again, this isn't a tutorial, otherwise I'll make sure to do that before, but whatever. Now the rest of this video is going to be easier to read. All right. FruixEngine.grabbable, fantastic. So we're going to go through all of this, take a look. A couple of legacy properties, that's fine. Yeah, so this was the first item. It's the slot box. This was just the list of components. Then after that, we've got some more details about this slot. So you can see its name is box. Its tag is null because there was no tag when I saved it. This will be its position within the Resonite package once that's instantiated, its rotation and its scale. And then we start seeing children. And you can start here seeing protoflux nodes. So here are all the protoflux nodes. There's a lot of data here, but what this data is essentially doing is it's linking different protoflux nodes, inputs and outputs together in a way that the machine can understand and the machine can read it. So if you wanted to edit protoflux offline, you'd have to navigate all these crazy IDs, like what the hell is 56? Looks like that's destroy and release. Grab priority is 57. So we're going to just go through them. You'll see more nodes here. This is the on package imported node that I covered in that tutorial. That's cool. Its rotation and stuff. Protoflux node visual. So here's the visual that represents the node. And that's because I saved that Resonite package from the tutorial with the protoflux unpacked. And so therefore the protoflux visuals are part of the hierarchy and included in this Resonite package. So he can start seeing things like images and stuff like that. That's where it's going to start referring to external assets. I need to find those within this file because, like I said, no one ever needs to look at this. Sometimes we'll look at fragments. Like, so for example, we might say, oh, there's a problem with scale, how scale is encoded into Resonite's cloud storage. So we could take a look at a fragment, but we never look at a file in its entirety like we're looking at it right here. It makes you mad. There was one time in the past where a personal friend had a crashed world or something, and it took forever, but I went through all of the stuff and I actually edited this JSON file to remove the thing that was causing the crash so that the world would load again. That was phenomenally difficult. You can see ColorX here with its RGBA and then its color profile, ColorX having the color profile being the new part of it. But we can just keep going through here till we see something that I think I can talk about, I guess. This is we're knee deep in the UIX stuff here. So you'll see a rect transform and then anchor min, anchor max. This is all stuff you'll see within the inspector. What are we doing here? What is this? It's just 0! Screaming 0 at me. This is phenomenally I hope you're enjoying this. It does teach you a lot about how Resonite works. Here's another rect transform. Let's skip down to the bottom. Maybe the assets are at the bottom. Yeah, here's the assets. So here's a static texture 2D. So this is a texture 2D, and you can see that it's stored in packdb, blah, 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 blah. So let's take a look at this. We won't be able to extract it as an image because I didn't get that far in my exploration. But if we look for 17b3eb within the assets folder, I've already forgotten that. Just go find it again. 17b3. So we can go into the assets folder. I need to go up and into asset. Hello. I was in the correct location. I'm just really bad. There we go. 17b3. So if you were to process this correctly, you would see that it is a picture, most likely. Sometimes if I do this, it will show me that it's a picture. Yeah, there we go. It's a PNG. So I would be able to, you see this, because sometimes this data here that I'm looking at within this text editor is the PNG. But sometimes the first few characters in a file when you open it in a text editor will tell you the file type. They won't always. Sometimes there's more complicated file types. But look, this is telling me that it's a PNG. That's fantastic. I would be able to, for example, I didn't edit the correct one anyway. I wanted to edit 17b, whatever. Yeah, that's also a PNG. So this is all like you could read it as a PNG. It's just not labeled as a PNG. You could move, actually we should copy it, 17b3 to picture.png, and now that would be represented as a picture. Of course, I'm on a terminal here and I don't have an easy way to get this off of my Linux box, so fantastic, but I assure you that would be a picture. It probably wouldn't be a very interesting picture. It would probably just be one of the arrows or triangles that we use as part of Protoflux to render the ribbons, etc. But there you go, that's an example there. So this reference here you will also find in the main record as well. So we can look at that with cat main.json pipe. Was that what I just showed? Yes, just what I showed you. I meant, yes, cat r-main pipe JQ. There we go. So you can see that 17b3 here. So this is a asset manifest, and you can see that each item here is then within that assets folder as an individual asset, and then inside the main asset, forgot what number that was, but we were examining it. That then can refer to those assets. It's like a big string thing, that like conspiracy meme with like the red ribbons and ropes going between things. This is just like what you've got here. So you go, that's assets for you. Let's go ahead and take a look inside metadata. I actually don't know what's in there. Cool, I've got no idea what those are. But they says that they're bitmaps, so maybe we'll take a look at them in another way. But there you go. That's a Resonite package. That's how to extract it and take a look at it. I hope that sort of brought forth to the front of your mind how difficult it would be to edit this as a human. Like I said, it is technically possible to edit this as a machine or a script. For example, someone could take the instructions I've just provided and package them into a self-contained executable that could just do all of what I did automatically for you. But that doesn't exist yet. But even when that exists, the end result of that would be that you'd have this mess to deal with. What would then need to be added to that, when would be an exceptional amount of work, would be a parser, an editor for this data. That isn't to say I couldn't make small tweaks in here. Like, for example, I could go down to... I'm just going to scroll around. Apologies for all the scrolling here. That's a font. I need not the asset. Okay. Name text here. So I could change, I think this is a name of a slot. So I could change this to be cheese. And then if I were to re-import that Resonite package, that name would also be cheese. But remember, I would have to repackage this. So repackaging this is a little bit complicated. You have to re-Brotli and compress it into an appropriate Brotli thing. If you look to our command where we decompressed it, just go up, it should be here. Here. This, I believe, this here, plus 10, means skip the first 10 bytes. I don't know why that's the case, but I found it, like I said, in Yosh's script here. So you'd have to do that again, and you might have to preserve those first 10 bytes, because maybe those are magic in some way and tell us what's going on. But you'd have to like reshove that back into there, and then you'd have to remake it into a zip archive, and then it would work. And that's why, to just re-emphasize again, after 20 minutes of me talking about this stuff, What I just did is not an intended goal of the ResonitePackage feature. I hope this has been interesting. Like I said, it's not a tutorial, but it kind of turned out to be a tutorial. I'll see you next time.